Okay, so let's talk about sugar. What do we know about sugar? Okay, sugar, first of all, it fuels the body. It gives us energy to do stuff. Every single cell in our body uses sugar. It uses it as a form of energy. And when we consume it, we all get boosted with energy and we're good to go. Our brain uses 20% of all the calories that we consume every single day. So if you don't get enough calories into your system, this will be the first thing to suffer, is your brain. So don't be stupid, feed your brain. I will first want to just talk about simple sugars, simple carbohydrates such as fructose and glucose. Now these are the two types of sugars. I'm not going to go into too much detail on what these are all about. Only thing you might want to know is that they have the same chemical formula. Both sugars contain 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. That's all you need to know. The only difference between these two sugars is the way that it is arranged. So for example, fructose is arranged in a pentagonal ring, and glucose is arranged in a hexagonal ring. Right, that's all you need to know. There's nothing, going into why they're arranged and what kind of chemical bonds they have. It's pointless to know that. Just, I just told you they're in different rings because I thought that was interesting. But, anyway. So, this little Duplo block over here is fructose. This block over here is glucose. There is a slight difference between how these sugars are metabolized. Here is your intestinal tract, and here is your cells of the body. So the cells of the body would be things like, your brain, your muscles, organs and things like that. Alright, your body, okay? Intestinal tract, it will be your gut. Now what happens to glucose, right? Glucose gets taken into the intestinal tract, right? A little bit, there's hardly any sort of processing that happens to glucose. It is a sugar, it is already there's not a lot of energy that is needed to convert this sugar in the intestinal tract for it to get to the cells of the body. Alright, now there's a whole bunch of science about insulin pulling sugar into the body and certain types of proteins that do that, the GLUT4 and the GLUT1s. But that sugar is ready to be used by the cells of the body. Fructose, however, because of its different chemical arrangement, that just goes into the intestinal tract, but it can't get into the cells of the body because it's not ready to be used yet. So what this does, it goes down to the liver, and in the liver it gets processed into a glucose molecule, and then that can be utilized in the body. Right, so that's simple sugars. That's how it works, okay? So for a simple sugar, for example, like table sugar and things like that, you're going to need a heck of a lot of that sugar to meet your daily calorie needs. So as a grown man, I need 2,500 calories a day. Recommended. Fair enough. Okay. For me to get that in sugar and sugar alone, for example, like your table sugar, that stuff that you buy at the supermarket, I would need to consume 625 grams of table sugar. That's a lot of sugar. I mean, seriously, who's going to consume over 0.5 kilogram of sugar per day? Fruit contains both fructose and glucose. Alright, so as soon as you pump in the fruit sugars, you got to get glucose and fructose. So what happens at 4 o'clock on this waterfall movement? Well, basically, you can eat complex carbohydrates. This is now a complex carbohydrate. It looks like a starch grain. A starch molecule is pretty much a whole bunch of glucose molecules all joined in one. That's why in a waterfall movement we recommend having this for dinner because it takes a long time to be broken down into glucose. There are no proteins that is able to grab hold onto this starch molecule and pull it into the muscles. It has to be broken down first and it has to be synthesized. We digest it, it enters the intestinal tract, and then it starts to get broken down. And during the night when we sleep, this process happens. That's why our food babies go down in the morning, and in the morning pretty much most of this will be moved into the body so that we can utilize it first thing in the morning and we won't feel like absolute rubbish. Hence we don't need coffee, hence we don't need, we can get up and go, we can sleep nicely because our body is doing a good job, it has the energy to do the good job, and that's pretty much the basis of the water form movement. So lots of fructose, which is good, gets turned into glucose. Have glucose all day until 4 o'clock. Have your starchy foods and then you'll sleep like a baby. Healthy as a baby, have enough energy to get the job done. That, my friends, is what you need to know about sugar on the raw to full diet. When your body is saturated with glucose, your body switches out of starvation mode, survival mode, and it will start looking at the fat reserves in your body and it will say to itself, right, I no longer need this amount of fat in my body, I can start shedding these pounds. And through the process of medium intensity cardio workouts, about half an hour to 45 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, you'll begin to see some results on that. But that has to happen. You have to pump your lymphatic system, you have to exercise in order to get that results. You would also need to make sure that you pump enough water into your body, make sure that you're peeing clear, because your body will need that for the chemical processes that happen within inside your body to break down fat, to break down glucose, for protein synthesis, and so on and so forth. And make sure that in the first couple of months that you do head onto this lifestyle, you get enough sleep. Sleep is important, because if you're new to this lifestyle and your body's not used to eating this way, at night time is the best time that your body begins to break down complex carbohydrates, so that in the morning when you wake up you'll feel at your best, you can get going for the day and keep carving it up. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you do like this video, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll catch you all later. So have a good evening. Yeah, ciao. So I forgot to tell you about this guy, this energy molecule. This is known as fat. Bleh. Can you see that? It's not eat, it's fat. Fat. Fat is a perfectly storable molecule of energy. When your body sees fat, it's like, bravo, thank you for doing all the work. I no longer have to consume energy to get energy into a storable form. So your body takes all of this and shoves it in your bum, and shoves it on your bum, your hips, your waist, your thighs. That's why we don't consume fat on a high carb, low fat diet, because as soon as you put this in your body, you'll have the whole world on your shoulders. Literally, whole world.